Cementerio Del Terror is a 1985 supernatural slasher zombie flick from Mexico. This slasher takes heavy inspiration from the Italian horror movies of the decade, and features some ultra-violence and stars Nightmare City's Hugo Stiglitz as the film's lead hero. It's an entertaining, gory, and underrated slasher flick that also happens to take place on Halloween.
¡Háganse a un lado!
It's Halloween night, and a group of bored teenagers decide to pull a ghastly prank, as a means of getting lucky, stealing a corpse from the local morgue and taking it to a nearby cemetery, where they perform a satanic ritual in an attempt to bring it back to life. Unfortunately, they happen to choose the body of a savage serial killer named Devlin, who has just been shot dead by police, ending a recent spat of satanically influenced murders. Unwittingly reviving the bloodthirsty sadist to the realm of the undead, the group of fun-seeking youngsters risk becoming dinner for the devil-worshipping zombie, as well as the zombies they've resurrected from the cemetery. With only occult expert Dr. Cardin, legendary Mexican character actor Hugo Stiglitz, able to try and put an end to the madness. Cementerio Del Terror is an amusing and bloody slasher that is in desperate need of a cult following. As mentioned previously, this supernatural slasher from Mexico definitely feels reminiscent to the Italian giallos and zombie flicks of the 80s. The movie features a great atmosphere, some over-the-top gore, stylized violence, and decent suspense. It takes place on Halloween and makes good use of the holiday. It features a unique and undead killer, and the film features some lively and impressive camera work. The story setting is also spooky, taking place in an abandoned house in a cemetery. Visually, Cementerio Del Terror is a very nice film to look at, especially the Blu-ray release by Vinegar Syndrome. The gore is pretty wet in this one, and the way Devlin kills his victims is pretty interesting. He uses his hands like claws and rips people's throats out and scratches faces off. It's a unique and savage way to kill. My favorite is when he literally rips the chick's guts out with his bare hands. The killer's look in the film is pretty average though, just a Spanish dude with a crazy eye and jerry curl. The film moves along at a brisk pace and features multiple sets of characters meeting up in the cemetery. I was surprised on initial viewing how quickly the students got killed off after resurrecting Devlin. They were all dead by the halfway mark. The second half of the movie follows the characters of the trick-or-treating kids as they try and escape Devlin, as well as the zombies that have been resurrected. Eventually Stiglitz arrives and teams up with the kids. Stiglitz punches and kicks zombies and faces off with Devlin at the film's climax. Unfortunately, Stiglitz does spend a good chunk of the runtime just driving around in his car, waiting for Devlin to pop up. But he is great in this as a Dollar Tree Dr. Loomis. The zombies are only in the movie for the last 20 minutes of runtime, so I would call this a slasher first and foremost. The zombie makeup is effective and solid and is reminiscent of Italian horror zombies. The film features a creepy and memorable score, but also a confusing twist ending I didn't care for. The kid actors are pretty good in this, and I like the fact they fight back against the zombies in the slasher better than the teenagers did. The acting is pretty solid and the female actresses are attractive, but there isn't any nudity here for you TNA fans. Cementerio Del Terror has quickly become one of my favorite 80s slashers. I give it my highest recommendation, but I am aware this may not be for everyone. So if you don't like foreign horror flicks or bad dubbing, you may not be that impressed. Cementerio Del Terror is an underrated gem of a horror flick with good production values and some memorable scares. I recommend checking out this fun and over-the-top splatter flick this October.